Hello everybody, it's Freddy back here on the desktop. I spent the last couple of minutes trying to wipe this off my camera screen, thinking it was a hair sitting on it, where it turns out to be a pencil mark on the desktop. Oh, if I scrub hard it can go away. Perhaps I should wash my desktop. But anyway, this week we are back with yet another RetroRPG, and I would like to present this, the Cyberpunk 2020 role-playing game. This is the second edition of Cyberpunk. The first edition came out in 1988. This one came out in 1990. And a third edition called something along the lines of Cyberpunk 3.0. Or 3.x, I think, maybe. It came out in 2005, but it wasn't widely liked. So this is the main edition. And obviously Cyberpunk's come back into public awareness because you've got this Cyberpunk computer game coming out soon by CD Projekt Red, the people who made the Witcher series of games. And they've released the first half hour of gameplay video on YouTube, but I haven't actually watched it. Just watching somebody else play a game for half an hour, I don't really get. Which is odd, because I did a couple when I started off this channel. But anyway, on with Cyberpunk. Now, Cyberpunk is what appears at first glance to be what I would call a shopping RPG. There is just so much equipment, gadgets, cybernetics, obviously, ranges of guns, and many, many source books. We'll go through them in more detail later on in this video, but we've got Maximum Metal with tanks and powered armor. We've got Chromebook with cyberware and fashion items. Chromebook 2, 3, 4, and then Deep Space, where you can buy your own shuttles if you want to. But back to those soon. Now, at first appearance, it looks to be a shopping game that you'll spend ages picking out what you think's the best armor. You know, it doesn't slow you down, it doesn't reduce your stealth, but it gives you the best armor bonus for your character. Whether you can get a gun reboard to use better ammunition, and whether that extra bullet in the magazine makes a difference. And in that aspect, like Shadowrun and many other cyberpunk games, it seems to be something very much of the futuristic style of games Cyberpunk is. But Cyberpunk really is about the style. It's definitely the most stylish role-playing game I've ever seen. If we flick open the cover, what we see straight away is a sexy chick with a cybernetic arm in her underwear. And when we look at the classes, the very first class that you play, because obviously everybody's human, there's maybe genetic engineering and things, but everybody is still basically just humans. But you've got rocker boys, you've got pop stars, you know, people who, rebel rockers who use music and revolt to fight authority. And then you've got a gunslinger, a solo, a hired assassin. Netrunners, the cybernetic computer hackers, techies, which are mechanics and doctors. They've spun those into one. Medias. So again, we're back. We've got rock stars and we've got media personalities. Cops, corporates, fixers, and nomads, road warriors. Very Mad Max. And again, look at the style of that bike. It's very, very cool. And that's what Cyberpunk's all about. You know, the sleekness of the cyberware. So much of the shopping that you're doing isn't about just finding the best weapon. It's finding the coolest look. Again, all about the style. Do you want to be the big monster, or do you want to be the sleek character? All of these will have influences on the game. Just such a cool image the game has. Now, it's set in the near future. As of today, very near future, because obviously it's set in 2020. So we've only got 2 years to prepare. before this is reality. They'd better hurry up and build Night City. But when it came out in 1990, this was 30 years ahead. There was plenty of time for this to be believable, futuristic. And they brought out lots of other games. Cyberpunk was very much the first in a wave of many cyberpunk-style games. You had Cyberspace, you had the Cyberpunk, GURP Cyberpunk, you had Shadowrun, which put its own fantasy twist on it. But Cyberpunk itself had definitely a style that set it aside. Even, plotting out computer fortresses for people to hack into. It's all slightly different and an interesting spin on it. Then to expand it, they brought out the Chromebooks, which again have all the gadgets to improve your characters. A map maker. Isn't that just an app on a phone these days? A news program. But sleep inducer to put somebody to sleep. Speed holster. Infrared combat cloak. Diving suits. Body alarm. You just snap it. And you've got sports cars and very Akira looking bikes. Then we're into the cyberware, much of which is, very sleek and beautiful. Roller skates built into your feet. Will anybody actually use them practically, or are they just going to go for the look? Built-in whips, spotlights, mace hand. There's just so many add-ons which you can't get at. In the majority of cases, you can't go out and get all these fitted because of cyber psychosis. You get too much cyberware fitted and you go crazy. Do you want a big shotgun pistol? And a cool machine gun? This is all about the style. Swords, a few colour plates showing off the fashions. Also, I must note that all the pictures, which I adore the art of, they are all very late 80s, early 90s styles. Women with big hair, men with ponytails and long coats. Which is my kind of style, I have to admit, because I'm a child of that generation. I was in my 20s when this came out. Built-in body armor. There's just so much that you can just pick up your character and make it exactly as you want. Do you want them to have ramjet rifles, railguns, sonic weapons, a wallet with a taser built in so if somebody picks your pocket, chainsaw knife, just so much cool stuff. And then full cyber body replacements. So get your brain taken out and just mounted inside one of these bodies. And if he's not Robocop with lights on his shoulders, I don't know who he is. Very cool. Oh, almost skipped. Minor exotics, so you can actually become a bunny girl or a mouse man or whatever. Get genetically engineered into an orc or a tiger. Not quite sure why you'd want to, but style. If you want to, it's there. Cybernetic arm with flesh woven through it, so the strands of flesh through it. Giant bug eyes. Power loader arms. So you can plug in to the internet or the Matrix or whatever it's called by plugging it in straight through your arm. a different type of chainsaw, sexy cyber legs, spiked cyber arms. Just page after page of shopping. Are you going to buy a beach buggy type thing, or a hovercraft, a flying car? Are the police chasing you in this weird torpedo with machine guns? Computer programs. Oh, cyber pets. Do you want to buy a tiger with a twin cannon built into its back? Who doesn't want that? Drones, yet more cyber bodies. And then powered armor gets introduced. They just expand more and more, give you more shopping opportunities. Bikes. Internal organs. Flying vehicles. Was that Thunderbird 2? Very much like Thunderbird 2. There's so much pages devoted to fashions. Lots of 80s dyed blonde hair. And then they brought out Maximum Metal itself, which is just vehicles for the military, gunships, bombers, tanks, and then massive sets of powered armor at the end. Just so when the players think they're invincible because they've shot through 4 Chromebooks and have every bit of cyber tech they can pack into their bodies, you can wheel out a set of powered armor and just squish them like a small metal bug. Then taking it into space, where the cyberware is actually not as good. EM interference from the sun interferes with it, meaning that cyberware can be a hindrance. But again, space stations, moon vehicles, very, very stylish. And next, this isn't actually released from Talsorian Games, which released Cyberpunk itself. This is an add-on by another company, Ionis Publications. This is Night's Edge, which I thought was a fantastic add-on for Cyberpunk, because if ever there was a place for adding vampires into, it's the Cyberpunk world. A world where it is night most of the time, smog blocks out the sun, it's raining and horrible, people huddle through the streets, ignoring one another. That's a world a vampire can hunt in. And they introduced this, which I thought was very, very cool. Showing off how vampires can beat the hell out of cybered guys. Their bodies reject cyberware themselves. But again, if the style of Cyberpunk doesn't merge with stylish, sexy vampires, I don't know what does. Hunters with flamethrowers. I'll point out that that's saying that is not what vampires are like. But that is Cyberpunk 2020. It is a standard Cyberpunk near-future game where you'll tend to play guys with guns with cybernetics running against massive corporations. But what else it is it's a game of style. It's a game of the media. So sometimes the best way for the players to win is by getting the story out, so a corporation doesn't come after them anymore, because it would be bad press. Get your song out there, get your news reports on the air, tell the stories of the people that the corporations are after. It's slightly different to other Cyberpunk games, but I think it's probably one of the best, and it is definitely the most stylish game out there. Now, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm producing, and I will catch yous later. Bye now.